make it here before 1 p.m., just after the morning meetings. And then while I was on the train, I realized, oh, I got text to say that you're on now, but okay, I'm not here. I'm here now, so sorry guys, again. So I represent BITMART as a director. When I first got this whole idea of having to do a presentation, it got me thinking, what kind of topic should I be saying? I even scrolled through the website to see what was already on it so that there is no clash in topics and we're not repeating the same thing. So I figured, let's just go back to the basic and talk about one fundamental topics, which is crypto, forming this whole financial inclusion revolution. Oh, hang on, let me... Is this? Huh? Oh, how do I click for the next slide? Is there like any... do this? Ah, okay, great. So human beings have come a long way from just doing barter trades to our present day of multi-currencies, and yet we still have more than 100 million people out there with no proper access to a bank account to do just basic remittance services such as receiving of money, transfer of monies, or they even have to go out there, travel a long distance to go into the city to get access to a basic bank account so that they can actually put money through across to their family members or even receive it. So this is a huge headache, and I would say that it is really not fair because in present day, certain countries, we have it so easily. Just online, it's just a click of certain buttons and we get it done. And yet for some countries, they have to go through so much problem, so much time and effort taken. And it's not fair. And we shouldn't have to make them go through this whole trouble of having to travel and to put money. This whole putting money in and out of the economy to drive the economy is, as a result, very time consuming and unneeded. Wait, This one? Okay, thank you. So as we can see from this chart here, the top 5 unbanked countries still have approximately 60% and more of their population without a proper bank account. We can see Vietnam and Philippines, they are one of the closest countries to Singapore. And yet, this whole disparity, we're geographically very close. And yet, this whole differences is not fair, and it shouldn't be. Because we shouldn't have to have this whole wide differences when everyone is physically and geographically close. And looking at these numbers, from the remittance angle, we can see that the average cost of sending $200 in fiat, just $200, is averagely about 6% in 2021. So that works out to be about $12 for every $200 transferred. Not to mention, if we were to look at it from the crypto perspective, certain networks only takes us USD $1, and it's any amount of transfers across. And even if we were to look at the ERC20 network, given that Ethereum plunged over the past few weeks, it's probably even cheaper than $12 now, unless the prices recover. So this whole differences, again, we can see what crypto brings versus what the fiat world brings. So we can, as a result, also say that this industry is driving this whole value transfer revolution. We make it cheaper, we're faster, we're 24/7. There is no need to rely on third parties, banks or companies to have to say that, oh, sorry, today we're not working, so this money cannot be transferred. You gotta wait for the working day to transfer. All you need is just a phone, a stable connection to set up. And from crypto's perspective, there is no 10,000 factors out there that we will assess you to say, oh, your credit score is not good enough, you need a certain amount of basic assets to be able to open a bank account. Or simpler. And so, I would say it's very heartening to see that this whole adoption rate is rising now, and it's not because of false impressions. It's because we all see that it's working, it's functional, we get things done. And that's why this industry, the adoption of it and acceptance of it is also increasing. One, or rather two concrete examples would be that We can see El Salvador and Central African Republic adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender. So we can imagine that in future, the other tokens, or NFTs, for example, they can be used for multi-purposes, be it not just from as a digital art piece perspective, it can also be used for example, company shares, votings, as well as other distribution of property rights. So we can talk about NFTs as well. We saw its popularity rose last year, actually from 2020. 2021 was the largest increase. So it rose and it's still rising now. A lot of platforms, they are still looking to build their own NFT marketplace because we can see that this is a widely recognized, I would say, an aspect of crypto. Crypto is not just trading. Trading, it's really the most elementary as well as the easiest way for someone to understand what's a crypto. But beyond trading, we have many more perspectives and aspects of it. So the multiverse, and we have NFTs, and we also have those social implications that helps using this whole blockchain basics. And I would say for NFTs, why it rose so quickly as well is because of its low cost. It takes just an artist to really come up with something, a creation, and the potential high yield out of it. And ultimately, it's verifiable in terms of nature, be it you as the buyer or you as the artist itself. So I guess it's important for us to note that asset is more than just figures and numbers. It's also about the value creation in this whole process. But as much as the industry is rising, we do face, and we are still facing, a lot of challenges. And I would say the biggest challenge now is the regulations and also the mistrust, especially when markets are bad. So the past few weeks, markets have been really volatile. Crypto has practically probably halved and even more. So this creates a fearful sense amongst people. And it's normal for them to think, after losing money, it's normal for them to think that, nah, it's not for me. You know, I can't depend on this. It's still risky an investment. This is probably the most popular word out there, risky. But even with all this risk, I would say what we really need is to have education and infrastructure. So that when you know how to deal with a problem, when you know how to face what is new, you would know how to develop more out of it. And so despite all this education and infrastructure being needed in most countries with subpar monetary systems, we still face an uphill battle of absolute or implicit ban. So implicit ban is just governments not outrightly saying, oh yeah, sorry, you can't operate here entirely. They just don't support it. You probably can't advertise too aggressively in it. So this hurts business development. As much as we try to want to develop perhaps the sport aspect or your futures aspect when you go into a country and then you realize, oh, it's a bit hard. The people there or the government there is not that supportive or not giving you a confirmed signals. So this is where things get stifled. It's not moving. So as I would say the most important part is the countries and CX ourselves. We have to set sound standards to help those value transfer systems start running, and ultimately to evolve. And so as central exchanges, for example, like BitMart and the rest, we are in this unique position to offer the unbanked and financially excluded a chance to have liquidity, value transfer, and also to be included in this whole development. So one example would be BitSolve. It's a Latin American exchange. So what they have done, just in 2022 itself, it's only half a year, they have facilitated in about $1 billion USD worth of crypto between Mexico and US. So it's just these two countries, and you can see this whole statistics. It's how helpful and how great it has been. So to sum it up, our industry has created this open and democratic financial system. As much as there are still skeptical people out there due to the circulated myths or misconceptions, it is on us to actually show them the way with sound systems. That'll be one. We need great user experiences on the app and on website so that people can know and understand. And lastly, we need impeccable customer service because it is from there, when they have questions, when they are in doubt, we resolve it and we build trust out of it. And it's not about competition or outperformance against your traditional financial systems. We're here to give an alternative, and we are here to level the playing field for everyone. And that's all I have for today. Thank you.